Santiago, and you're watching Bad Witch Books. Hey guys, it is the 16th when you're watching this. I will be uploading this on the 16th. So Hispanic / LATINE Heritage Month has finally started, and as a Mexican-American booktuber, I think it is only fair of me to do some book recs. I was not bullied into this by certain people in my sprints on Monday. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. And we've got a big list of books. I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books to rec. I will be also recommending other books that these authors that I've read. Other books by these authors that I have read, I will also recommend. So, and I do have them I have some adult, I have some young adult, and I have some middle grade. So let's just get started because we have a big list. Okay, first starting off is for my romance girlies who love romance. We have You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria. This is a part of the Primas of Power series. The other book that is out in this series is, I forget what the title is called. Okay, but yeah, there's a second book in the series about another cousin. But this book is about Jasmine, who after she had just had a big public breakup with another celebrity, because she's an actress, and she just had a big breakup with another celebrity, like I think he's a musician, and her show is like the show she was doing is over, and so she gets hired to do this new telenovela for a streaming service, and she ends up falling for her co-star, who is he is the co-star of her show. He is the father of a son, and he tries to keep his life private. He's an actor, but he tries to keep his personal life private because he doesn't want him to involve he doesn't want his little kid he has involved in it. And so they start falling for each other, but because Jasmine has had this huge breakup, she's kind of in the tabloids a lot more, and so it leads a lot of that. It's good spicy stuff. There's some really good scenes in here, and I also really enjoyed the sequel. I know that Alexis Darla writes a lot of romance, so if you're a romance girly, check her out. She has this also really good audiobook, Audible original, and it's like the X-Hex, and I listened to most of that, and it's really good. And the our main characters in here are all Jasmine is Puerto Rican, takes place in New York, and yeah. Okay, so the next book I have is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is an adult fantasy. This is about our main character. It took me a minute to read it, so I gotta look at her name. Gazopia. She accidentally releases the Mayan god of death that her grandfather was keeping imprisoned. She didn't know he was. And this takes place in the Jazz Age in Mexico. And she accidentally releases him, and he's like, hey, you have to help me get my power back so I could take back the throne from my brother who helped imprison me. And it is about their journey through Mexico as they try to get his power back, and it's got this very slow burn romance going on in it. And I really like this. The world is amazing. This is my favorite Silvia Moreno Garcia book I've read so far. I enjoyed her vampire book she has, Certain Dark Things, and I will be reading Mexican Gothic next month, so I would suggest checking out her other work as well. So next book we have is, for my horror fans out there, we have Hacienda by Isabel Canas. This is about our main girl character. She is Beatriz. This takes place right after the Mexican Revolution, where Beatriz is marrying a rich man, Don Rodolfo. She marries him, and he takes her to his family's estate, the Hacienda, and he basically has to leave her there because he goes back into the city to do his business. And Beatrice finds out that this place is very much haunted. It's got this dark energy in this house, and so she goes to the local church for help, and she meets Father. This was one of my favorite books of the year. Padre Andres. She meets the father, and she asks for help. What she doesn't know is Padre Andres is a witch, and that he is a local healer that's kind of hiding that he's a witch by being in the church. And he has a history with the house. And I really liked this book. It talked a lot about the class differences in Mexico at the time, especially with the caste system of being like more indigenous and like Spanish. It talked a lot about that. Really good book. Really enjoyed it. This will be in my top 10 books of the year video later. Okay, next book is if you remember last year, this was like one of my top, like my, I think probably my favorite book of last year, The Inheritance of Orquidea Davina by Zoraida Cordova. This is basically a book about I can speak properly. Orquidea Davina ends up one day messaging her family, like she sends letters out, and she's like, "Hey, I'm dying. Come to the house. Everybody come back and get your inheritance, and let's celebrate." And they all come to the house, and she gives them like a seed, and then she turns into a tree. And then the family, like after that happens, years go by, and like things start working out for the family until one day, one by one, each of the family members are dying until the grandkids, 3 cousins, basically have to track down where their grandmother, because she was very mysterious about her past, and they have to go all the way back to Ecuador to find out where their grandma is and what makes her so special, and they just go through her grandma's past. If you like Encanto, I checking this out. It's got very much like family drama of Encanto in it, and it's really good. Just like adult, this is an adult book. This is magical realism, and like this is really good. I'd also suggest her young adult series, The Broken Brujas, are really good. They are a trilogy of YA books about 3 sisters who are brujas, and it's really good. Okay, now we're going to the young adult section. So, of course, you know me, I gotta recommend Aiden Thomas. I'm holding up Cemetery Boys because I want to talk about Sunbury Trials in my wrap-up, which I've read. I mean, it's already a 5-star book. But Cemetery Boys about Daria, who is a brujo who wants to prove to his traditional family that he is a brujo, and that, because he's trans, and that he can do the right magic, because the magic is gendered in this community. And he accidentally summons the ghost of the local bad boy, Julian. And they end up having to go on an adventure to solve how Julian passed away, so that they could, so he could, release him into the afterlife. And really good, really fun. Love this story. One of my favorite books of all time. Love Aiden Thomas's other work. He has a standalone Peter Pan story, which is really good. Really enjoyed that. And then, of course, the Sunbury Trials just came out. Watch my wrap-up, which will be out next week for my review of that. But, I mean, I can talk nonstop about this book. I love it. It's amazing. And I've got it. Sorry, this is taking a minute. I got it signed. Okay, sorry. Okay, next book we have is another young adult book, and that is The Blazewrath Games by Amparo Ortiz, I believe is how to pronounce her name. So this is it takes place in a world where there is dragons and dragon riders, and people are able to bond with their dragons, and the government has a thing when the people bond with their dragons, because not everybody gets to bond, like it's very special few. They are basically, there's this whole Olympic sports event of dragon rider games, and each country has theirs. Our main character, whose name is, I read this last year, so don't judge me, Lana. When Lana, she auditions to be the runner, so the only person without a dragon for the Puerto Rico team. She gets it, and shit happens from there, and she undercovers some secret stuff. Really good. If you love dragons, this is really good. I love the dragons that the author creates in this. There is a sequel to this book, and then this author just came out with an anthology with a bunch of other Hispanic, LATINE authors that really good. I haven't read it yet, but the anthology is horror anthology, so that will actually be in my next month's read. But yeah, I really enjoyed the series. There is a sequel to it, and I haven't gone to the sequel yet. Okay, next book, we are getting into our YA contemporary. So we have With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a book about Imani, right? Yeah, Imani Santiago. Sorry. Manny Santiago, she is a teen mom in this school, and she has her her abuela watching her daughter, and she's trying to graduate high school. She also loves cooking, and she wants to be a chef, and their school opens up a cooking class, and she tries to get into it. Really good. It's told in this book's not told in verse, but I highly recommend listening to the audiobook for this book. Elizabeth Acevedo narrated it, and it was spectacular. Really good book. Really enjoyed it. The cover's gorgeous. The hardback without the cover is gorgeous. I highly recommend. I also recommend her other work. I have not read When You Clap, When You Land or The Poet X yet, just because I have to be in a very particular mood for books in verse. But those are on the top of my list. But I highly recommend this one. Next book is Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School. This is by Sonia Reyes. This is about our catch my breath. About Flora. No, Yami Flores. I remember the Flores. Yami Flores. She is a senior, I believe, or she is going to be. She's a senior at the start of the book, and she is transferring to a prestigious Catholic school because her brother got in for his grades, and she wants to keep out for him because her brother gets in a lot of fights. And then also she secretly wants to get away from the high school she's in because she came out to her best friend, and her best friend kind of outed her and started acting weird. And so she's like, well, okay, I don't want to be out, because she doesn't know how her religious mom will take it. So she wants to make sure she has the money to survive on her own before she comes out. And this is her basically when she gets to the school, she meets the only other out girl, and she's like, oh no, she's cute and has gay panic. And it's really good, really cute. This book had me laughing. This book had me almost cry at work. And it's just a really good story, really beautiful. I loved it. This will probably be also in the top 10 books of the year. But it had me laughing, had me crying, and it was really good. Okay. One of my other favorite books of last year was 1,500 Miles from the Sun by Jonny Garza Villa, which is about a boy named Jules Luna, who he lives in Mexico. Not Mexico, he's Mexican. He lives in Texas. And Corpus Christi, Texas, and he is a senior in high school, and he accidentally, after getting drunk at one party, comes out via Twitter, and he gets a boy that he liked, gets in his DMs, and they start talking, and they start forming this long distance relationship, which is really cute, and the relationship's really good. But the chef's kiss of this book is his friend group. They are so fun, so cute, so friendship goals that supporting cast is amazing. I love Jules as well, and it's just the friendship in this book is chef's kiss. It was so supportive, and just for the last book, laughing, crying, emotional mess. This also had abusive father in a book, so trigger warning for that. But really enjoyed this book. I'm highly waiting for the author's next book, which Ander and Sandy were here. I'm highly anticipating that book. Okay, now we are going on to middle grade. I have three more books. Almost through, but I'm glad we're doing this. So, the next book we have is Witchlings by Clara A. Ortega. This is a book about Seven. She is a witchling, so she is a prepubescent witch, basically. And on the day the witches turn 13, not on the day, but all the witches that are 13 there's a ceremony, the Black Moon ceremony, where they are given their covens, and basically they are put into the covens, and the ones that don't get put into a covens are the spares, and they're not as strong, because they're not allowed to access higher magic. And so Seven doesn't want to be a spare. She wants to be in house the highest sense coven, which is the best, the strongest, the brightest. And she, on the night of the full moon, on the Black Moon celebration, she gets put in the Spare Coven. And she is oh no. And so she asked to do a quest, which is a challenge that she can initiate, because if she doesn't, she'll lose her magic because something goes wrong. And so she has to do this quest with her new coven mates. Really good. If you like the Owl House, highly recommend this. This is a really fun middle grade story, and I really enjoyed it. Really, really adorable. The artwork is amazing also. Okay. 2 more books, and these are both from Riordan Presents. For next book we have is by J.C. Corvallis, and this is The Storm Runner. So this book follows Zane Ospero, who he lives in Texas with his mom. He has a limp, and he also lives with his dog. She's like missing leg boxer, I think is what she is. Dalmatian. I think is what the dog is, but that's not important. But basically, he lives near this volcano that like he calls his secret place. It's where he hangs out. And one day he sees a pilot try to like crash into the volcano, and then when he looks at it, he sees that it looks like a zombie's driving the pilot, like a zombie pilot driving the plane. And then he finds out that basically this volcano is where what is his name of the god? Okay, basically he finds out that the Mayan god of death is being locked away here. Alpunch, one of the like more fearsome gods of death, is being imprisoned in this volcano, and that Zane is prophesied to release him because he is a demigod. I think it's what they're called in here, but he's basically a demigod. And then he meets this shapeshifter named Brooke, and shit happens from there, and they have to go on an adventure, and it's really fun, really enjoyable. I have only read the first book in this series, but I know it is a trilogy, and then I know J.C. Corvallis also released another book, which is on my list to read eventually. But I really enjoyed this. Highly check it out. Okay, we're on the last book. And the last book is Palo Santos and the River of Tears. This is another Riordan Presents book. This is by Taylor K. Mejia. I fucked that name up. I'm sorry. But this is about Palo Santo. She is a space obsessed. She's a science nerd. She loves like logic. She likes things that she can see and things she knows are real, because her mom is very superstitious. She is like a healer, and she's like, my mom believes in a lot of shit that I don't, and she thinks her mom's not crazy, but she kind of believes that. But and her mom's always told her stay away from the river because of La Llorona, the spirit of the weeping woman, will take her. And one night her best friend goes missing by the river, and she has to try to find her and save her best friend from La Llorona. Book's really cute, really good. I need to read the rest of the trilogy, because the last book in the trilogy I believe just came out this year. And it's really fun. I liked Palo Santos. She was really fun, like, main character. And I'm interested to see where the series goes. And La Llorona was a really cool villain, too. But, I mean, also, this artwork is amazing. But, yeah. That is my Rex for you guys for Latine Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't prefer Hispanic, but that's neither here nor there. But, awesome things. How you know what I'll do? I'll also give you another recommendations for some shows. So, those are the book recommendations. We're going to do some show recommendations. We have 2 good shows you should check out. If you are an animation fan, there is a show on Netflix that came out last year that is really good. It's called Maya and the Three. Put this picture right here of it. But it is about, it is a, like, Hispanic, Latinx inspired fantasy, mainly about like the indigenous cultures more than like that, but really good. It's about a girl named Maya who is the Teca princess, and on her 16th birthday the gods of the underworld are like, hey, yeah, I know this is your princess, but you had to sacrifice her. We want her. Our god of war wants to sacrifice her, and so Maya has to go on a journey to find the legendary 3 heroes from the other kingdoms, the other surrounding kingdoms, and unite to defeat the gods of the underworld. Really fun, really good, really emotional story. If you are a fan of El Tigre or the Book of Life, this is from the same creative team, and it's really good. Okay, so now another show I highly recommend that is on Netflix. Maya and the Three is on Netflix, and this one is also on Netflix. One Day at a Time is a show about a Cuban family It is so good. It is a comedy. Really good. Highly recommend it. I'm going to have the picture right here. It has Rita Moreno, legendary actress, in it. And it's just a really good show. Really enjoyed it. Really good comedy. I watch it when I'm bored. Sometimes I'll just replay episodes. Really fun. So those are like 2 free recs besides book recs. But if you guys have any other recommendations, leave them down below. I'll check them out. I am excited. It's Latine Heritage Month. And I will see you guys later. Subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, bye.